Hey everybody, welcome. I know we have folks moving just off of from our main stage presentation to come over here. So we'll let folks just have a minute or two to join in. I'm going to grab just a link to put here in the chat for the hackathon if folks haven't gone over there to check that out. All right. Thanks for your patience. Right on. Okay. Well, thanks so much for your interest in the hackathon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Eric Lieber. I am program manager here at Blackbaud on our innovation team, and the producer for bbdevdays. So if you have bbdevdays questions, feel free to throw them into the chat. Excited to have you all here today. So let's talk a little bit about the hackathon. So I know this might be a new concept or an idea for folks. Really, this is an open competition that'll run from now through September 15th. And it's open for all of our customers, and anybody who's doing any sorts of extension or customization on your Blackbaud solutions are welcome to participate. So what does participate actually mean, right? So there's really kind of like three different ways that people can participate in the hackathon. And I think, normally we think about, like you have an idea, you would like to lead a team, or maybe you're not a team person, and so you just want to work on your project yourself. Either approach is fine, although we are really encouraging people to be on teams and also to look for people in other organizations, right? Like we just heard Wendy on the main stage talking about co-conspirators. So this is a great opportunity for you to have co-conspirators. You can also find a team or join a team. The platform, when you go on and you register you can put in kind of like your areas of expertise. And so you can also browse and look at projects that are out there. So a couple of easy ways for you to either find a project that you want to work on, or try to find people who you can recruit to work on your project. And then of course, like, you can always submit an idea and you don't have to work on it. You can submit an idea and hope that another group of people will want to take that on, or you can also suggest a project, you can comment, and you can vote on it. Let me say, can people see the chat? I know chat was turned off earlier. Nope, I got a thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Just want to make sure that the technology is working for folks. So those are the three different kind of formats that you can participate in. And as I talked about the timeline, we're in the open competition now. We're going to have weekly office hours. So if you get stuck with a project or you need some general guidance, all of that, you can bring those to a monthly meeting. There'll be Blackbaud experts. We're happy to help. Competition will close on September 15th, so all your project materials need to be submitted and complete by then. But then we'll be announcing the awards on October 6th. So what are kind of like appropriate things to build? So there are customizations. So anything, on if you're using Blackbaud CRM, there's a software developer kit. If you are playing with our APIs, there are also adaptive cards, there's Power Apps, Sky add-ins. So those all types of things allow you to customize your product suite. You can also build any type of automation. So anything, we typically talk about automations in Power Automate, but obviously there are automation tools that are available for you. So we're not limiting you to one particular piece of technology. I think that there's a session that's talking about how somebody used Python to do some automations and updates. So really anything that's automating and saving folks time qualifies. And then any types of business insights. So if you're building a dashboard or a Power BI or Tableau report, right? Like we're super interested in seeing the methodology and ways that people are building and presenting data and information. So those are the types of things that you can build. We have awards that are going to be offered in 4 different categories. And again, these are all sort of like product agnostic, right? So like we'll have a fundraising track, right? So anything that's going to be enhancing your organization's fundraising efforts, right? So that could be like a process that would help enable your frontline fundraisers to do reporting, or it could be some code that you built into like Illuminate online donation page, right? Like anything that falls, remotely into a fundraising category can be considered here. We'll also have one that's focused on financial grant management, so anything on budgeting, expenses, or compliance, right? Like really, we're interested in examples that are streamlining your financial operations. We also have one on education management. So I know we have a lot of higher ed and K-12 orgs, so really, this can also be very wide-ranging of anything that's fitting into education. So whether it's communications or process improvements, super happy to have any of those come in. And then our last track focuses on data quality and hygiene, so ways that you're working to improve the data quality of contract records or any type of records or data that's coming into the organization. So you might have an automated process that perform some hygiene steps for you. You might have some code on front ends on your forms that's helping with validation that would be interesting. So all those are the different types of tracks that we have that you can submit a project under. And so our judging criteria will focus on 4 different areas. How innovative is the idea? What impact would this idea or project have? How usable is it, right? Like if you want to make sure that you're thinking about your end users that will be leveraging this process, how friendly is that? And then we'll also be looking at the technical quality of the submissions as well. You'll have this. You can download this if you really want to. You can download this and see all of the criteria. It really kind of dives into like what exactly, like some finer points around what the judges will be looking at, with a sense of what they're looking for, and then what the scoring scale will be as well. So that's available here in the docs as a download. It's also on the Hackathon website, and it's the Hackathon guide, which is exactly the set of slides that I'm going through here today. So I mentioned that we had 4 competition tracks. We're actually giving out 6 awards because we'll have a judges award, which is the best use of AI in a solution. We will also have an award for the people's choice, right? So I noted you have the ability to upvote ideas when you're in the platform. So the idea that has the most votes is going to receive the People's Choice Award. So a little bit of an incentive for you to crowdsource and get folks involved in looking at some of the ideas in there. So the 6 winning teams are going to be invited to share their project. If the code is available to share in the community or as a template showcase, that would be awesome. While the competition only is looking for prototypes or proof of concepts, we're interested in bringing as many of those to the finish line as possible. So we'll be available, after the competition to help provide some additional guidance for you to be able to finish any projects that you have. And then we will be bringing the winning projects to be featured at the innovation booth at BDCon. So I dropped the link to the hackathon in there. It is a completely separate site from Flugo or Goldcast, so you will need to create a username and account to get in there. But then you can bookmark the hackathon site to go in and return. So when you get started, you can create your profile. You can start that process of submitting a project or an idea. And that sounds complicated, but there's really just a short form for you to fill out, kind of with the project title and some initial details. But you can always go back in and edit that, so don't feel like that your idea or project needs to be complete. The notion is like you want to get the idea out there and then start working on refining the content and ideas. So this shows just kind of the form. I think it has like 7 or 8 questions. It's pretty minimal. We tried to keep the overhead burden fairly low to encourage people to participate. So we talked a little bit about finding participants. This is just a screenshot of the participants page. You can go and just select the participants list, and that'll show you the list of folks. There's a whole bunch of different filters you can use. That might be helpful as we get further into the competition and there's more people in there. I think it's just a handful of participants in there now. Hopefully you all are in there and adding yourself on there, which would be fabulous. And then the same type of format applies for browsing the ideas. So there's a variety of categories you can do sorting. Again, it's pretty light in there right now, so you shouldn't need the filters. But again, as we get through the competition, that'll build up. And when you need to go back into your project, you just navigate to the project using that project filter, and then you'll, as an owner or a person on the team, you'll have rights and permissions to go through and edit any of the fields. And really, I think the important thing here, although it's a ways off of when you're ready for it to be considered for submission, we're just going to change the status from pending to submission complete. And that'll be an important step because only the ones that are submission complete will be considered for judging. So what do you need to put into that project, right? So like we want to have a description. If you have a video that walks through it, or if you have a slide deck, either format is completely fine. But we want to get a sense of what the features are and how your solution addresses some of the competition track goals that you've submitted it under. If you have any technical documentation or setup instructions, that's super helpful to include. If you have source code, we'd love to see that. And that, if you've uploaded that to GitHub, or you can put that directly into Bright Idea for us to take a look at. So again, trying to make that as easy as possible. You should have a description around the team, right? And let us know who what roles the different team members play, right? Like you'll have folks with different areas of expertise. And so that helps us get an understanding of kind of like the team dynamics piece. And then if you have any licensing requirements for your solutions, please note that in there so that as we go through and look through the solutions, we know what we need on our side to make sure that we can look through it accordingly. So our judges come from across our Blackbaud product suite. So I'm super pleased and excited to have Rich and Chad and Julia, Trit and Jamie, and then Heather and Michelle. So you may have seen some of these folks in your recent product update briefings, or have come across them at your time interacting with Blackbaud. But these are some of our great leaders and engineers on our side that'll be evaluating those ideas. And with that, I kind of wrap up the deck with a list of resources for you to be able to get started. So I mentioned the office hours. So there are links in here for each one of those office hours. So you can copy those links, add those directly to your calendar. Obviously, we have the Sky developer documentation, which goes through APIs and add-ins. If you're doing something with our UX patterns, we have that information. And then we also have a whole section on how to connect into the Power Platform. You'll probably want to have a sandbox environment to do your dev work in. And so if you need access, we have what we call the Sky Developer Cohort Sandbox environment. And so you can request access into that just through going to Sky API, by sending an email to skyapi@blackbaud.com. Just let us know what type of environment you want, right? If it's RE or FE or education management, our team will get you set up with that access. And yeah, if you have any questions about your project as you're walking through them, the Sky developer community is also a great place to pose those questions, as well as the office hours. And with that, that covers what I wanted to go over. So I'm going to look through the Q&A. I don't see any questions there, and I don't see anything in the chat. So I'll stick around until the bottom of the hour. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to help. And I don't see anybody in here, so I don't see any questions. So I'll thank you all again. I'll hang out until the bottom of the hour, but look forward to seeing everybody over in Bright Idea and adding some ideas and looking for some projects.